What's up guys, Onmaths here, and today we're looking at straight line graphs, and included in that is coordinates. So we're going to start off with a coordinate question, and it says write down the coordinates of point A. Now, as we know, we always go along the corridor and up the stairs. So we start off in the middle, and we know we've got to go 6 to the right. So this would be a 6. Now, to go up, well, we're not going up, we're going down. So it's going to be -2. So it's always the x value first, then the y value. Okay, and that's really important to remember with coordinates. Okay, let's just get rid of that. Don't need those anymore. Right, plot the coordinates 2, 9. So 2, 9. So we're going to cross to 2, so we're here, and up to 9. And we just do it with a little cross, and that's pretty rubbish, so let's try it again. That's better. Don't do it with a dot or anything. And also, if you read the question, it says label this point B, so we need to put a little B next to it. Wicked. Does point B lie on the straight line with equation y equals 4x plus 1? You must show how you got your answer. Okay. Loads of different ways of doing this one. We could draw the line y equals 4x plus 1, and the way we would do that is we understand that y equals mx plus c. Okay, and you might have seen that before. The m is the gradient, and the c is the y-intercept. And so when we look at the y equals 4x plus 1, it means the gradient is 4 and the y-intercept is 1. Now if the y-intercept is 1, it means the line will start here. And for every 1 it goes to the right, so for every 1 to the right, it's going to go up 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it would be here. And then it will go another 1 to the right, and another 4 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it would actually reach B. Okay, so if I draw the line on, it would look like this. Hopefully if I do it right. There we go. And that's one way of answering it. That's not actually the easiest way of answering it. The easiest way of answering it is just put in the coordinates given to us in the question, so 2, 9. So we're going to write out y equals 4x plus 1. We're going to put in the value for y, which is 9. And we're going to put in the value for x, which is 2. So 4 times 2 plus 1. So 9 equals 4 times 2 is 8. And so we've ended up with 9 equals 9. Now the question does say, does point B lie on the straight line graph? So we need to put a yes. Now, which way would I recommend? Well, definitely this way. This way is much easier. But if you wanted to draw the line onto the graph, then that's absolutely fine method as well. On the grid, draw the line with equation y equals -2. Sorry, x equals -2. So let's have a look where x is -2. Well, x is -2 here. Where else? Oh, no, that's x is 2. X is -2 here. Right, where else is x -2? Well, here, here, here. You might see a pattern here. X is -2 anywhere along this line here, if I can draw it right. Anywhere along this line is x equals -2. Okay, and that's our x equals -2 line, and that would give us the mark. Next up is AQA's question, and this asks us to find two values on this equation here. So let's start off with P. So it's telling us that x equals 0, so we're going to substitute that into the equation. So 3x becomes 3 times 0, plus 2y equals 6. 3 times 0 is just 0, because when you times anything by 0, you just get 0. So what I'm going to do now is put my lines in. And we've got a times 2 there, so to get rid of it we need to divide both sides by 2. And we get y equals 3. So this is going to be 3. Now we're going to do q. Now q shouldn't be any different. So we've got 3x plus 2 times 0 equals 6. Anything times 0 is 0, so we've just got 3x equals 6. Get my lines in. And we've got a times 3 there, so to get rid of it we're going to divide by 3. And so we've got x equals 2. So we've got a 2 there. So p is 0, 3 and q is 2, 0. Right, now it wants us to draw the line for that equation. And it's given us a little graph there. So 0, 3 will be here. So that's going to be where p is. Q would be 2, 0, so that's here, so that's where Q is. Now, what's tempting for a lot of us, maybe, is to think, okay, well, let's join them up, like that. That will only get you one of the 2 marks. I haven't even looked at the mark scheme, I know that that's one of the 2 marks. Whenever you draw a line on a graph, okay, or an equation of a line on a graph, it has to continue forever. So you have to keep going. So get your ruler on those 2 points, and it's got to be for the full duration of the graph. Now it does actually say from minus 3 to 3. Okay, so actually we didn't have to do this bit here, and we didn't have to do this bit here. I recommend doing them anyway. You're not going to lose marks for doing too much of the answer. And actually it's really bad habits to have the line not be the full duration of the graph. The reason for that is that line goes on forever. That line does not stop. The graph will stop, which is why we don't spend the rest of our life drawing that line, because the graph is stopped. And they're saying it stops at minus 3 and 3. For me, it stops at minus 4 and 4, personally, and then it goes up to 9. But it's really important that that line continues for the full duration of the graph, and you will lose marks if you've got any gaps in any of your lines you do from equations. Last up, our OCR question, and it's asking us to find where that equation crosses the x-axis. And if I draw a quick axis here, we can kind of see what's going on. So when you cross the y-axis, say here, it doesn't matter where, what is x when you cross the y-axis? Well, x will always be 0, because you've got x going minus 1, minus 2, all that stuff. But at the y-axis, x is always 0. Okay, so all we have to do here is just substitute in x as 0. So we write down the equation, so y minus, but instead of x, it's going to be minus 2 times 0 equals 1. Anything times 0 is just 0, so it's just y equals 1. Oh, and it wants a coordinate, so x is 0, so it would be 0, 1 will be the answer. Now there's quite a lot going on with this next question, but again, it uses, actually this question doesn't reference the old question at all. I thought it was the same equation, but it's not. So the diagram shows y equals 3x plus something. Now if you remember the first question, I talked to you about this y equals mx plus c. M is the gradient, so we know that gradient is 3, but we can actually work out what c is, because we know c is the y-intercept, and if you look at the sketch they've done, it's showing that the y-intercept is minus 2. So we know c is minus 2. So the actual equation of the line is y equals 3x plus minus 2. Well, actually, that's just minus 2. So we've got the equation of the line, and it showed us a point here, but we know what y is for that point. We know that y is 10 at that point, but we don't know what x is. So let's substitute y as 10 into the equation that we've written up here. So 10 equals 3x minus 2. Then we get our lines in. And so first thing, I want to get x on its own, so I want to add 2 to both sides to get rid of that minus 2 there. So that would be 12 equals 3x. Then I want to get rid of that times 3. So let's get rid of that and just have x on its own. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. And obviously we've got rid of that 3 now, so we've just got x. And I can just swap them around just to make things easier. And so k is representing the x value. So it's just going to be k is 4. And you can quickly check that by putting 4 into the equation. So y equals 3 times 4 minus 2, which is 12 minus 2, which is 10. So we know we've got it right. Well, I hope today's video has been useful. If it has, please click like and write down any comments you like about today's video or anything else you want to talk about. If you want to see more from us, we release videos every single weekday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. So click subscribe and click the bell to make sure you're up to date with all the videos we release. And also, if you haven't already, which I'm sure you have, check out our website onmaths.com, which will magically appear above me now. Loads and loads of free resources there. You can even sign up for free. Everything there is completely free. You can try out all of the questions we've got on the site. We've got hundreds, if not thousands. I think there's thousands of questions now on the site for you to practice to help you with your maths. Otherwise, thank you very much, and I'll see you on Monday.